Hi friends, I know it's been a while and I feel like I say that at the beginning of every video, but welcome back to my channel. We've had a little bit of a revamp and today I am going to be showing you how I made these, I don't think you're allowed to use the word, but M-I-C-K-E-Y, third birthday cupcakes for my son's class party. And I'm going to show you everything from how I designed and cut out the little cupcake toppers, putting the buttons on, all the way down to this frosting technique. So stay tuned and stick around if you want to find out how to make these. I'm so stoked with how they turned out. He's obviously only 3, so he would have been happy with just slathered on icing out of a box cake with sprinkles, but I am stoked to have these to look back on the photos and the memories. So to make this DIY, you don't need a whole lot at all. You just need some plain black cardstock, a hot glue gun. I personally used a low temp hot glue gun. Imagine you could probably get away with a high temp one, but yeah, I just went with the low temp one because it's best for doing light crafts like this. Obviously you'll need glue sticks to go into the hot glue gun, and then some white buttons. It's definitely more affordable to buy them in bulk on eBay, but I kind of ran out of time, left this to the last minute, so I just went and got some from Big W, and then also some red patty papers. I couldn't find just a full box of red ones, so I got the 100 piece mixed colored ones, and there's enough red in here for his whole class. And oh, that sounds horrible. Obviously you also need the ingredients for your cake for whatever recipe you choose to follow, and the ingredients for your ice. To make these little threes, the first thing I did was I went over to my computer and I just searched Mickey number 3 and went to images, and then I literally just went through them until I found one that I liked the shape of. I didn't really like the round shape, so this is the one that I chose to go with, and it didn't matter about any patterns on it because I was going to put it into just cut mode and do it on black cardstock anyway. So I saved this image and then brought it up into Cricut, and then I uploaded it as per usual, cleaned it up and imported it. And then the next thing that I did was I went to shapes and I selected this rectangle shape, imported that, and then I turned the rectangle up the right way, placed it where I wanted it to be on the 3 and welded it together. And then I duplicated it this amount of times until I had them all lined up nicely to be able to fit a good amount on my piece of cardstock, and then proceeded to cut them out with my Cricut. With my Cricut, I just had it on the cardstock plus setting, and then this is the cardstock that I used. So I used just plain black cardstock I got from Spotlight, the A4 210 GSM pack. It wouldn't matter if it was a little bit thicker, but I probably wouldn't go any thinner because this is not flimsy, but yeah, it's probably, this would be as thin as I would go. So for the cakes, I decided not to include a recipe because obviously that's going to depend on the dietary restrictions within your child's classroom if you're making these for a class party. I tried to use organic products, but these aren't gluten-free or anything. They are dairy-free just because we don't have dairy in our house anyway. But yeah, these are just like standard vanilla cupcakes. Obviously for the cake portion, it literally doesn't matter what type of cake you do, what flavor you do. Yeah, this is a little overview of me making some cupcakes, but cupcakes aren't hard to make. You could use a box mix if you wanted to. Super easy. So considering the fact I have 2 crazy kids that constantly need me, I think I did a good job to only have 3 that are a bit brown on top. So you lovely people are balancing on my blender, hence this
flattering angle, but I did have a really nice setup, but then I realized because of the PowerPoint situation in this home, the hot glue gun wasn't gonna work. I take our lovely little cuppy cakes, and we've got our hot glue gun that's been warming up. It's gonna get stuck on my oven elements, but that's okay. And our little buttons, everything's ready to go. And then we're just gonna glue them on the front. Pretty self-explanatory, but we're literally just hot gluing on our button. It is important that you bake the cupcakes first and then hot glue on your buttons, because obviously, like, if you hot glue on your buttons first and then bake your cupcakes, the buttons will melt in the oven. And then we've got our cute little Mickey buttons. Honestly, this one's not perfect. I'm sure we'll get better as we go. My glue gun's still like kind of warming up.
So for the icing, I am just making a simple dairy-free buttercream. I'm just doing it vanilla and white. If you've never made buttercream before, of course your buttercream recipe will tell you this, but you just beat the butter for a longer period before adding the icing sugar, and that's how you get it nice and white. You don't need any like white food coloring. I don't even know if such a thing exists, but I'm just using some disposable piping bags, and I'm not 100% sure which tip this is. I'll include the link below if I can find it. I'll put the link also for my blender and things. Yeah, it's just like a nice rosette tip. I have no idea what the number is off the top of my head. So to make the icing nice and high, unlike a rosette where you just kind of do the letter E, you want to do a point in the middle of the cupcake first, and then that will give the icing something to stand on as you pipe it around and upwards into like a reverse cone shape, I guess. I don't really know how to describe it, but you can see what I'm doing here. I was using a turntable, and then I was trying to show you how to do it at the back of the turntable, and they were kind of spinning while I was piping them, but you still get the idea. It is important to do that point of icing first in the middle though, if you want your icing to be able to stand on top of it. Of course you could pipe the whole top of the cupcake, but I wasn't doing that because these are just little 3-year-olds. They really do not need to eat that much icing, so I wanted the look without giving them so much icing, you know what I mean? So I did kind of play around with where I wanted the 3s for a little bit. At first I had them sort of sticking into the icing, and I ended up moving them around because I didn't like the angle they were on. This was my first time making these, so you can learn from my mistakes and just place it directly at the back. My cardstock wasn't really thick enough to stick it into the cake, but because there was so much icing and the icing was nice and tall, it didn't actually need to go into the cake anyway. And yeah, I'm just so happy with how these turned out. So that is it for this video. I'm not sure if I'll be back into making regular content or not. I have a little bit to say on that, but I just wanted to leave this as a short, sweet tutorial. Obviously, you can really change it up with this one. With the Mickey ears on different numbers, I think it would definitely work best on rounded numbers. You know, a 2, a 3, maybe even a 6. I think by 8, they're probably a little bit over Mickey Mouse. Are they? I don't know. I guess I'll have to wait and see. But you could also do pink cupcakes with the buttons and do the ears and find a little bow SVG if you wanted to do mini cupcakes. There's so many ways that you could customize this and make it your own. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any feedback on this style of video, leave it below. And any questions, also pop them below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you for watching. Bye.